Hi, this is Ron Martinson of ronmartblog.com, and I'm here today to talk about the Canon G16, and I'm going to compare it against my personal camera, which is the Fujifilm X20. This is a popular camera that I like to recommend because it takes fantastic pictures, and for a long time I was a G series fan from the G9 through the G13, and it was this predecessor, the X10, that made me switch over to Fujifilm. And there's some things about the G series that I miss, so I was really interested to see if the G16 is really going to lure me back. Now, we start by looking at the back. The familiar Canon layout. It's got a little bit bigger LCD. G series owners will be disappointed to notice that the articulating LCD is gone, which I was really disappointed about. That was actually one feature I really enjoyed and I missed with my Fujifilm, and unfortunately they didn't carry that over. It's also surprising that with Canon doing touchscreens these days that they elected not to make this a touchscreen. I thought that would have been a good touch. That really would have given it an edge to possibly lure me back, but sadly they chose not to do that. Fujifilm puts its buttons here on the side and around, and Canon, while having fewer buttons, does basically the same things. You have a programmable button here, just the same as Fuji has their programmable button up here. And I look up top, they both have rotating exposure compensation knobs, which I really love. I wish every camera had that. And then a mode dial and an ability to pop up a little pop-up flash-wise. They're both equally useless. And beyond that, they're very similar. Now, if I flip these over, you'll see that the Fujifilm does offer ability to quickly change your drive modes, and in the Canon you have to go to a menu to do that. Canon adds a little knob up front here that's equivalent to Fujifilm's knob on the back, and my apologies for smearing the screen here. If I dig in a little bit deeper here, turn this guy on, Canon compact camera users will be familiar with the screens here. All the basic stuff that you're used to seeing. They did add focus peaking, and beyond that, blink detection will take a picture when they determine the person's not blinking. It's kind of an interesting feature, and it's off by default. IS settings, you have like custom IS mode. So just do a quick run through to show people what's here. But again, G series users will be familiar with pretty much everything that's here. One downside is this format or menu item has gotten harder to get to because it's buried in the middle, and I wish it was a little more accessible. While there is a favorites menu, or my settings as they call it here, my menu settings will not allow me to put items from this menu, so format can't be here like you can do on the SLRs, which is really quite frustrating. They do have Wi-Fi now, which is nice functionality, and it's a nice screen for doing playback. It's overall much improved over the prior G series. One interesting thing, when I go into my modes here, if I come down to my drive mode and put this into burst mode. Now right now I'm in JPEG only, but watch me, I'm just going to push it and you're going to listen for a moment. Okay, I got tired of pushing the button there. It's improved its burst mode substantially over its predecessor. And if I press this, I start to rotate through. Let's see, I think I need to press another button to see the number here. See, I took 100 pictures in that short little period of time. So I'm going through each of the 100. But the nice thing that they've done is that if you're looking, all the ones you took in a set are grouped together, so you can get past all these, and then you can drill down into the set. So that's nice when you're doing a lot of burst mode stuff. So again, this menu for shooting functions, all quick and easy, familiar again for Canon users. You can shoot RAW and RAW plus JPEG, HD videos now at 30 and 60 frames per second. You can do 60 frames per second full HD, which is impressive for a compact camera. They've caught up with some of the other cameras with adding a dynamic range correction of up to 400%, like the Fujifilm does. And then they've also added this shadow correction, which is really nice. It's basically brightens up the dark areas. This tones down the bright areas. And so when you turn both of them on, you get what's pretty darn close to Fujifilm's EXR mode. So overall, as the G series, this is the most impressive and enjoyable to use G series I think I've ever held. And so it's your typical G series construction. Feels a little bit more plasticky than some of the older models, but it's not bad. It's still decent. It's not the old metal bodies that felt like you could drop them from the top of your car and they'd still survive. They did add Wi-Fi, which is going to be a big deal for some. I'm really not very interested in it. And then in this mode here, you have ability to DHDR. So if I take press the button, it'll do a quick 3 shots and do an HDR exposure for me. So that's nice. I don't have to do anything special for that. And so it's all your typical scene modes and stuff. So overall, if you're a big fan of the G series, you'll be very happy with this camera. It's probably the best one they've made to date. If you're coming from Fujifilm, you'll probably find that the picture styles aren't quite as good as you're used to. And overall, I'm still not convinced that I want to switch, but follow my full review to see what I end up doing. It is a good camera and definitely much improved. Again, check out my full review on ronmartblog.com, and check out the right side of my blog for all of my reviews of both software discounts on software and cameras. Have a great day.